The difficulty is not to try to have anybody else's experience. Not to try to duplicate what anybody says, including what I'm saying. The difficulty of a human being is to stay completely, ruthlessly in their own experience. Their own experience, which is not a product of anybody else's. That's all you need to do. That's it. Because your own experience will always lead you directly to the truth. Always. Every time. Let me give you an example. And then we'll open it up for questions, because you don't need to hear me prattling on all night long. Most of you have heard about spiritual inquiry and the old famous question, who am I? Probably to the extent that you're completely sick of it. And so am I. So I'll join you in that. Not that it's not profound. It's extraordinarily profound. But it's, you know how it goes. It's something's really useful until the general culture gets a hold of it. And then they just destroy it. You know, it becomes almost a cliche. But that doesn't mean that it's not extraordinarily profound, meaningful. But as I said, this is an example of how your experience, not somebody else's, yours, can lead you to the truth. Now, the first time, if you've ever asked yourself the question, who am I? If you've ever done it at any point in your life, the first time you asked the question, you got the answer. Imagine that. You might not have felt like you got the answer at all. You might have felt totally confused. But you can't ask the question without getting the answer. It's impossible to ask the question without getting the answer. Let me give you an example. If we slow this process that happens faster than I can snap my fingers, okay? We're going to slow it down, put it in slow motion. So here's the slow motion version of inquiry. Who am I? The mind, with that question, the mind looks within. Who am I? In an instant, faster than a flash of lightning, in an instant, it looks inside and finds nothing. 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 Nobody. But since it doesn't know what to do with that, and since that's confusing, it thinks, I found nothing. I must have got the wrong answer. Let me ask the question again. Because after all, Ramana found the self, and I found nothing. Right? Or Nisargadatta found consciousness, and I found nothing. Right? And so you ask again. And you ask, and if we slow this way down, you look inside, and for a split instant, nothing is there. Of course, right after that, you might hear all your old identities, right? Oh, I'm not really good enough to be doing this anyway. Do you know, that kind of stuff. Or you hear the spiritual answers, I must be consciousness. You know, I must be. And you're trying to produce something, and, you know, you can't fool reality, though. That's the nice thing about reality, you know, is it's real, which means that everything else is false. So you look in again. Who am I? Faster than you can snap your fingers. There's nothing there. It's not what you expect. It's not what your mind expects. It's so outside of what you expected that your mind immediately discards your own experience, your own perception, and immediately thinks it's wrong. I didn't get it wrong. I didn't get it right. I have to ask the question again. As Ramana himself said about inquiry, he said, it's not really that you get the answer, he said one day. It's not really that you get the answer to the question. It's more like imagine there's a fire and you have a stick in your hand that you stir a fire. You know, you occasionally stir a fire to kind of get the embers and going again and get the fire going. And the inquiry is like a stick in your hand. You stir the fire. And as you inquire, it burns the inquirer out of eventually it burns it out of your hand, right? And there's no inquirer. And when there's no inquirer, it's just possible that the self shines forth, right? But of course, the self shined forth. The first time you ask the question, it just was so fast. And your mind discounts it so fast and assumes it must be the wrong answer that lo and behold, you just have to keep answering the question. Answering, until you get despondent and you think that you're never going to get it. And you're the most unevolved human being on the face of the planet. And you hit a very low state of despair. Even if you sing praises to God, it just doesn't get you up anymore. And you just feel like, wow, never. Oh, I'm just so despondent. And then you try to leave it and you try to walk away, but you can't. You might go, that's it, I'm done with this nonsense, I guess. I wasn't made for it. And you walk away and you decide, I'll never have anything to do with this. And then a week later, you find yourself in a meeting like this, wondering, how the heck did I get to this? I thought I'd quit this. And you're in great, great, great despair. And what you don't know is the last bit of yourself is hanging on like its fingernails to a cliff. And it's just dropping away, and all it needs is a little breeze to go, whew. Oh, that's what they meant. Boy, about the most awake, alive, vibrant nothing you ever bump into. But when you're clinging to the last bit of self, it doesn't seem vibrant or alive. It seems dead and threatening and dense. And I've heard so many people over the years, so many people say to me, how did I miss it? How did I miss something that was always there? How did I miss it?